Welcome. My name is Ashanti Branch. I'm the founder of Ever Forward, Siempre Adelante. Ever Forward was started in 2004 at San Lorenzo High School as a support group for young men. What we do is create a space for young men to talk about what they were going through in a safe space so that they had a space to let go of some of the baggage that they may have been carrying around. We have 3 programs now. Ever Forward Club, which is for young men in middle school and high school. Ever Forward Professional Development for teachers, parents, social workers, people working with youth. And Ever Forward Experiences, which is what we are going to be doing in these learning experiences. So right now, I'm going to explain how the 3 learning experiences are going to work, and then we're going to jump into learning experience number 1. So learning experience number 1 is going to be about who are you? Who is it that you identify as? Who is it that you let the world see you are? Who are you? Learning experience number 2 is going to be about who are you listening to? Who are you spending your time listening to? Who are you giving opportunities to feed information into your head? And lesson number 3 is going to be about where are you going? Where are the dreams and goals you have in your life? Are you pushing towards them? Are you going after them? Or there's something that's getting in the way, something blocking you? I want you to not feel like this is school, but I do want you to do the activities that I'm going to assign, because what happens is if you go to the next learning experience without doing the previous assignment, you're going to be missing something. And I want you to go to the next experience ready so that you have the tools you need to really fully engage and understand. Each learning experience is going to be about 10 minutes, so it's going to go really fast. So I encourage you to take the time to just jot down the notes. Hopefully you have a journal available or a piece of paper that you can work with. But I think some of these things you're going to may want to keep as you move forward in your life in the future. Learning experience number 1, who are you? Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to give you some questions that I want you to write down, because I want you to answer those questions on a notebook and a notepad. Maybe you just answer them in your head, but I do want you to answer those questions for yourself. You're not going to have to share them with anyone. But what I do want you to do is I want you to have that reflected so that you will be able to take it to the assignment that I'm going to give you to do on your own. Okay? So this story I'm going to tell you is about a king and a peasant. Now, this king in this town or this village or this kingdom, what he did is he had a challenge every year. Now, it wasn't just him. It was his father and the kings before him. All the kings had always offered the people every year at this festival an opportunity. An opportunity was to jump across this river and make it to the other side. Sounds simple enough, but no one had ever taken the challenge. And the reward was huge. The reward was that you and your family would never have to worry about anything ever again. You would have your own palace. You would have the riches. You would have people working for you. It would be life-changing. And no one ever jumps. So the king is there. He's waiting. No one ever. And this year in particular, someone lands in the water. Pushing, fighting. There's crocodiles and alligators and piranha and all kind of hungry specimens in this water. This person is fighting his way to the other side, getting bitten, scratched, and he makes it to the other side. And the king was amazed. Like, literally, this is amazing. And the king says to the man, can you tell me what was it in you that gave you the energy, the power, the courage to jump in that water? Like, no one has ever accepted this challenge. And the man with his bandages and body wrapped up in the gauze everywhere, knowing that his family's generations and generations will be changed forever, he had to come up with something. And he said, king, I have to tell you the truth. If I was being really honest, I need to thank the person standing next to me because they pushed me in. Imagine that. He wasn't even going after it, but once he got in it, he knew that he had to fight his way to the other side. Have you ever been fighting your way to the other side? Have you ever got pushed into an opportunity that you didn't want? Did anybody ever sign you up for something you didn't want to be signed up for? Have you ever felt that you were being challenged to do something that you didn't think you could do? Sometimes we just run from the challenge. We just say, no, I'm not going to do it. Sometimes we are stuck in the challenge and now we have to figure out how to get through it. I don't know if this man ever would have jumped in on his own, but he made it to the other side knowing that I have no choice now. Sometimes we don't go after what we want, not because we don't want it, because we're not sure who we are. We don't believe in ourselves enough to believe that we have the strength, the talent, the power, the amazingness to accomplish amazing things. And I think if we only just gave ourselves more credit, we would do so much more than we possibly think we can do. Today is about who are you? And so there's 4 questions I want you to answer in your notebook. The first question is, who are you? The second question is, when did you arrive on this planet? The third question is, how long do you plan on staying? And the fourth question is, what are you going to do while you're here? So question 1, who are you? Question 2, when did you arrive on the planet? Question 3, how long do you plan on staying? And number 4, what are you going to do while you're here? Please answer those questions somewhere and answer them for yourself. You can put them in a notebook, you can share them with friends or family, but ultimately right now, just write those answers to those questions. And then I'm going to give you an assignment to take with you, because this assignment is actually even more important. All of them are important. I'm giving you what I'm going to give you is not going to be a lot, but it's going to be really important to build on the building blocks for the next learning experience. So when you leave this video today, I'm going to send you to a website, www.100kmasks.com. www.100kmasks.com. Masks. When you go to that website, you're going to see a screen where you can create a mask. It's going to ask you to do 3 steps. Draw a mask. It's going to ask you a question. What are things about yourself that you gladly let people see? And the next question is, what are things about yourself that you don't usually let people see? 1 picture, 6 words. You submit it. You can save it, download it, keep it for yourself. But what you're going to do in the next learning experience is we're going to talk about these masks and see how your masks compare to people's masks all over the world. Don't ignore doing this task. I think this task is extremely important. And sometimes people will say, I'll just think about it and I won't write it. Go to the website, create the mask. What we're going to do next, we're going to go into a deeper experience around those masks. But first I want to tell you another story, because I think sometimes it's really for stories to kind of help bring the text together. Remember, today is about who are you listening to? So I'm gonna tell you a story about an old man, a little boy, and a donkey. And this old man was a grandfather of this little boy, and they had this donkey and they needed some money. So they were gonna go up the hill to the town to sell the donkey, and they would have money for the rest of the month, the week, the year, who knows? And so as they are walking, the grandfather with his grandson and the donkey, somebody walks by and is like, what a waste of that donkey. Like, you two are walking up this hill, the donkey is walking. Donkeys are meant to be used. Why are you not using the donkey? And the old man was like, okay. So he took the little boy, he put the little boy on the donkey, and they continued up the hill. Next person comes by and was like, what a lazy boy, letting that old man walk while he rides the donkey. And the old man was thinking like, okay. So the old man took the boy off the donkey and the old man got on the donkey. The next person that passes by was like, look at these two putting all that burden on this little donkey. The next thing you know, the old man grabs the donkey, puts the donkey up on his shoulder. The little boy tries to help a little bit. And as he climbs up the hill, people are walking by, laughing. They make it to the top of the hill and people are like, what's wrong with this guy? He's carrying the donkey. What are donkeys for? Now, the old man was so tired by the time he got to the top of the hill. The little boy was so tired, they just crashed on the ground and just tried to catch their breath. And like as they were falling asleep, the donkey was like, I'm out of here. And the donkey got up and escaped. Now, the sad part of the story is the donkey got away. And the old man, little boy, walked back down the hill with no money, with no resources, with nothing, and no donkey. So the moral of the story is, if you try and please everyone, you're going to probably please no one. Who are you listening to? And so today's questions I want you to be able to answer. You're going to either answer them in your own notebook. Hopefully you write them down somewhere so that you can use them into the ongoing work that you do in your life around this. Maybe you're going to share with a friend. But there's 4 questions I want you to think about today. And actually, before we even go into the questions, we got to talk about these masks. Because your assignment was to go and make a mask. The front of the mask are the things that you let people see about you. Who are you? The back of the mask are the things you don't let people see. What is it you're not talking about? And hopefully you made the mask. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you a video of masks that we've collected from around the world. Let me give you some context about this video. This video was created by our team, but the song you hear was by the High School for Recording Arts, Los Angeles. I took them through the same experience you did by making the masks, and they got inspired and created this song for the 100,000 Mask Challenge.
Summer you'll never have until you ask. You don't know just who I am under this mask. 100,000 masks, I'm just trying to be a man. 100,000 masks, you don't know just who I am. May think you know me, you can't envision my past. You don't know just who I am under this mask. 100,000 masks, I'm just trying to be a man. 100,000 masks, you don't know just who I am. Walk 1,000 miles and I ain't never looking back. Before I take this mask off, gotta know myself in fact. I can never go too fast, I can never get off track. Leave it in the past, I can never come in last. 100,000 masks, showing fear of who I am. I'm just feeling good, yeah, I'm feeling like the man. Front and back of masks, trying to ask of who I am. Know just who I am, when you look inside this mask. Summer you'll never have, until you ask. You don't know just who I am under this mask. 100,000 masks, I'm just trying to be a man. 100,000 masks, you don't know just who I am. May think you know me, you can't envision my past. You don't know just who I am under this mask. 100,000 masks, I'm just trying to be a man. 100,000 masks, you don't know just who I am.
Welcome back. I hope that video spoke to you. I hope you resonated with some of the masks that you saw from different parts of the world. I'm going to ask you 4 questions that I want you to think about. I want you to write down. The 4 questions are this. Did you see your words? Did any of the masks that you saw have words that you wrote? What did you notice about how it made you feel to see your word on the screen from somebody who you don't even know? What does it make you feel to know that you're not alone? And the last question is, who do you know in your life that needs to see this? That needs to make a mask? That needs to see this video? That needs to hear the story about the man and the boy and the donkey? Who in your life can you share this with? Because we're talking about identity, but we're talking about how do we show up in the world? Maybe you just need it for yourself. Maybe it's not somebody else who needs it, but maybe by you sharing it with someone else, it will help to deepen the understanding in yourself. So the 4 questions again. Did you see your words? What did you notice about how you felt while you were making that mask? What does it make you feel to recognize that there are other people going through similar things that you are? And the last question is, who do you know that needs to see this experience with the masks, the video, or even hear the story about the man, the donkey, and little boy? Answer those questions on your own time, and we will be excited to be getting ready for experience number 3. And here's how I'm gonna have you do it. Today's assignment, today's task is for you to go and tell somebody about this. Maybe it's somebody who you wrote one of the questions about. Who needs to see this? Is it one of your teachers? Is it one of your parents? Is it a brother, sister, or cousin? Is it a friend who lives across the country who you haven't talked to in a long time? Who do you know in your life who needs to see this? We want you to think about who in your life do you know that really needs a real experience. The hashtag is hashtag 100K masks, and the website, as you already know, is www.100kmasks.com. Lesson 3 today is going to be about where are you going? So in lesson 1, we said, well, who are you? Like, who is the person that stands in front of people every day and proclaims who they are? Are you being fully yourself? Are there parts of yourself you don't get to talk about? Who are you? Then we talked about lesson 2 about who are you listening to? What are the voices that you're letting come into your mind and your heart and your soul that let you show up a certain way, that causes you to act ways that you don't really want to act like? What are those voices that you're listening to? And today, our last session together, we're going to ask about where are you going? You know, in today's work around where are you going, I think the story that I can best guide us is a story about a man and on an old country road. And this man was walking down a country road, heading maybe just for a walk somewhere. And what he was hearing in the distance, he was hearing the howling of some animal. He didn't know what it was at the time, but it was something howling. It could have been a wolf, it could have been a coyote, it could have been a dog, I don't know. But as he got closer, he realized it was a dog. And there was a dog on the porch of this man's house. And the man was sitting next to the dog in the rocking chair, and the dog was just howling like it was like being hurt. Ooh, you know how a dog howls? I was going to tell you how it sounds, but a dog was howling. And the man was like, well, maybe the man is like, he can't hear, so he doesn't know that his dog is howling. So the man said, well, I'm going to just go kind of help the old guy out. So he walks over and he's like, excuse me, sir, I just want to ask you, do you know that your dog is howling? He said, yeah, he's been howling for hours. And he said, well, I'm kind of confused. Like, why is he howling? He said, well, because he's sitting on a nail. And the man said, did you say the dog is sitting on a nail? The old man said, yeah. He said, well, I'm confused. Why, if he's sitting on a nail, why doesn't he get off? And the old man said, because it doesn't hurt him enough. Take that in. It doesn't hurt him enough. He's howling for hours about something that he wants to be better, something that he doesn't feels discomfort about, but he's not willing to make a move yet. He's howling because the nail is bothering him, it's creating discomfort, but it's not enough pain and not enough discomfort for him to move. Where are you going? Where are the places in your life that you have been talking about, complaining about, worried about, concerned about, but you haven't made a move yet? What is a dream that you've had, a thing you want to create, a business you want to start, a podcast you want to do? Like, what is something you've been wanting to do, but you just haven't got moving yet? Where are you going? Today is about this idea of where you're going. And sometimes the places we want to go, we have people who have held us back in places. They've told us we can't achieve it. And so therefore we have held our own self back because of the voices of others. So today we're going to talk about where are you going? The story of the man in the old country road. You know, the dog could have got up off the nail a long time ago. The old man was used to the dog howling about it. The old man wasn't even worried. The stranger came by and said, hey, you got these goals you say you want to have. You got some discomfort in your life. Maybe a mentor has come into your life and asked you, hey, what's going on? I hear you talking about this thing you want to do. I hear you talk about this goal you have, but I don't see you moving. And maybe you felt upset. Maybe you got offended that somebody questioned you about your goals. But sometimes it's easier to see from the outside. Sometimes it's easier to see what somebody else isn't moving about. Sometimes it's harder for us to see that we've been talking about this thing over and over again. I'm going to tell you a personal story. I've been talking about writing a book for about 2 years, maybe even longer. But 2 years is when I remember meeting with a mentor. We sat at a cafe. I put it in a notebook. I'm going to start writing every day, 15 minutes. Now, in 2 years, if I had just written for 15 minutes a day for 2 years, that's 365 days a year. It's about 720 days times 15 minutes. I would have had over a lot. How about that? That's the math. A lot of minutes of writing. I would have had a lot of words on a paper that I could have used to put together and probably even have the book finished. But you know what I did? After the first few days, I was like, this is not making a lot of progress, and I stopped. And the other day I was going through my old files and I'm like, what is this? And I was like, January 1st, 2017. Oh my goodness, January. Like, that's actually almost 3 years ago. I started writing and I stopped. Now, that for me was like embarrassing. Like, I've been talking about writing this book, and a book won't write itself. There's even technology out there that helped me write it faster. And so I've been pushing myself not only to do more and to go after my goals and dreams and not just talk about it, because otherwise I got to just stop howling about it. And so as we move into today, I'm going to tell you one last story about a young man that I'm really proud of, and that is it resonates today with is where are you going? This young man, I met him when he was in middle school. He was in Ever Forward in our club at the middle school, our first Ever Forward club in middle school. He was with us 7th grade, and then in the 8th grade, I moved on to my fellowship at the D school at Stanford. And right before he was on his way to 9th grade, right before his freshman year, his mom passed away. And I want you to know that I had known his mom, and we had connected in supporting him, and it was really hard for him. And I kept reaching out, and he was not returning calls, and I was reaching out, and he was like not wanting to talk, and I could just tell he was shutting down. Maybe you have people reaching out to you that can tell something's going on with you, or they know something's going on with you, and you haven't been able to reach back. Maybe you haven't been ready. Maybe you didn't trust. Maybe there was a lot of things going on that you weren't ready to get the help that you may have needed. And it took almost 7-8 months finally before he sent me a text and he said, do you have time to talk? And I was like, absolutely. And after that time, we have been making time to get together. He's been a part of our Ever Forward at Large Club. He has been coming on with us on our college tours, having experiences. And now this year, as he gets ready to graduate high school, this world is going in a different way. It's creating challenges for him. He's feeling some ways about some sadness about not being able to walk the stage, about this journey of 4 years of high school and 3 years of middle school and 6 years of elementary school, all the journey of life. And now he doesn't get to experience it. Getting ready for college and dealing with financial aid and dealing with the FAFSA forms and all the things that are just all a part of the journey of this senior year. If you know where you're going, you will find the right people around you. You will find the right resources. You will ask the right questions, but you first got to decide that you want to go somewhere. Maybe that thing that you've been wanting to make improvements in your life about, you just don't know how. Maybe it's first starting to put it in words. Here's the thing I want to do. And so as we close this session, lesson 3, I just wanted you to know that I'm so glad that you've been on a journey with us. I want to give you some takeaways that you can use for your own life and for yourself. And so 3 things I want you to do. 3 things. First, if you didn't do the homework assignment, if you didn't go to 100kmasks.com to make your mask, please do. If you didn't share it with somebody and tell somebody about the experience, I want you to do that. And the other thing I really want you to do is I want you to every day when you wake up, take a piece of paper. Actually, ideally, you get a notebook that you just put the date, and every day you write 3 things that you're grateful for. 3 things that you're grateful for. All day long, we're going to think about the things that are not going right. So how about we just spend a little bit of time every day thinking about the things that we're grateful for? And every day. If you want to write more, please, I encourage you to do that. But how about just a simple basic every day? Here are 3 things that I'm grateful for, and that will kick your day off into a way of gratitude. And as you wake up, knowing who you are, knowing whose voice you're letting put messages into your soul, knowing where you're going, and with an act of gratitude every day, you can achieve all your dreams. That's what I'm hoping for each of you. If you haven't already followed us, you can follow us the 100,000 Masks campaign on Ever Forward Club at Ever Forward Club on all the social media platforms at Ever Forward Club. We look forward to being a part of the movement. If you've already made a mask, you're already a part of our community. So thank you for being a part of us. Thank you for doing the work that is hard work sometimes, but that we truly believe is transformational. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you so much. See you soon.